The gardeners who plant these 8 herbs right now in August will have established, thriving perennials returning every single spring. The ones who wait until next April start from scratch. I am Timothy, and this is Evergreen Garden. Stick around because number 6 on this list is one of the most overlooked herbs in American gardens, yet it practically grows itself once it is in the ground. And number 8 is a native North American plant that gardeners have valued for hundreds of years. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a like, because here at Evergreen Garden, we post new videos every single week about practical gardening for real gardens. You do not want to miss what is coming. Here is what most gardeners get backwards. They think of spring as planting season and fall as shutdown season. For annual vegetables, that is mostly true. But for perennial herbs, August is actually one of the smartest planting windows of the entire year. When you put a perennial herb in the ground this month, it gets 4 to 6 weeks of warm soil to push roots deep before the ground cools. By the time spring arrives, that plant is not starting over from a tiny transplant. It already has a root system. It wakes up fast, grows fast, and produces far more than a plant of the same variety that went in the following April. Plant in spring, harvest in summer. Plant in August, harvest for years. Let us get into it. Number 1, lavender. Lavender is perennial in USDA zones 5 through 10, and August is one of the best times of year to plant it. Here is the reason most gardening guides skip right over. Lavender roots thrive in warm soil. Soil temperatures in August typically run between 65 and 80 degrees across most of the United States, which is the sweet spot where lavender sends out lateral roots the fastest. Plant lavender in a spot that gets at least 6 hours of full sun. The soil needs to drain quickly, ideally sandy or gravelly. If your soil is heavy clay, work in coarse sand or gravel before planting, or raise the bed slightly. Heavy, wet soil is the single fastest way to kill lavender. Space plants 18 to 24 inches apart. Water them in thoroughly at planting, then step back. Once established, lavender in zones 6 and warmer barely needs supplemental watering at all. Cut it back by about 1/3 after blooming to keep the plant from going woody, and it will come back more robust every spring. One thing worth knowing, lavender is mildly toxic to dogs and cats if consumed in large quantities, and concentrated lavender essential oils should be kept away from pets. Number 2, rosemary. Rosemary is perennial in USDA zones 7 through 11. With cold hardy varieties like ARP or Hill Hardy, it can push into zone 6. If you are in those zones, August is your last reliable planting window before the season closes. A plant going in the ground now gets 8 or more weeks of warm soil to establish roots. One going in during October gets almost none. For gardeners in zones 5 and colder, plant rosemary in a container rather than directly in the ground. Set it on your porch or patio through September. Let it settle and bring it inside before the first frost. A container-grown rosemary can thrive for years with that approach, and you never lose it to a hard winter. Rosemary needs full sun and well-drained soil, without exception. It handles drought far better than it handles wet roots. Overwatering or soggy soil leads to root rot, which kills rosemary faster than any frost ever will. Water it when the soil is dry an inch below the surface, and let it dry out completely between waterings. Number 3, thyme. Thyme is one of the most cold-tolerant culinary herbs you can grow, thriving in USDA zones 4 through 9. It tolerates summer heat, poor soil, dry conditions, and irregular watering. That makes it practical for gardeners who do not want to fuss over their herbs every week. August is ideal for planting thyme because soil temperatures in late summer match exactly what thyme roots need to spread and settle. As August nights start to cool, the plant hardens off naturally. That gradual transition from hot days to cooler nights is actually better for thyme than the sudden temperature swings of early spring planting. Plant thyme in full sun with fast-draining soil. Space plants 9 to 12 inches apart. For containers, terracotta pots work better than plastic because the porous walls help pull excess moisture away from the roots. Do not cut thyme back hard going into winter. Leave the woody stems intact to protect the crown through the cold months, and trim back only in early spring when you see fresh green growth pushing through. Number 4, sage. Garden sage is perennial in USDA zones 4 through 8, and it is one of the most rewarding herbs you can add to your garden once it is established. Sage is slower to settle in than most herbs on this list, and that is exactly why the August window matters. A sage plant that goes in the ground this month has the rest of August and all of September to push roots before the soil starts cooling. By spring, it will already have a system in place and hit the ground running with vigor. A spring-planted sage, by comparison, spends most of its first summer just getting established, and it often does not produce well until its second year. Plant sage in full sun with well-draining soil. It needs at least 6 hours of direct light to thrive, and it is not negotiable. Heavy, wet soil leads quickly to root rot and fungal problems. Space plants 18 to 24 inches apart because a mature sage gets wide. In late spring, trim the plant back by about 1/3 to keep it from going woody in the center and to push fresh, aromatic new growth out from the base. Coming up in a moment, number 6 is one of the most overlooked herbs in all of American gardening. It is so easy to grow that people almost feel suspicious of it. Number 5, oregano. Oregano is perennial in USDA zones 4 through 10, and it is one of the fastest establishing herbs on this list. Put it in the ground in August, and it will root aggressively through warm, late summer soil, sending out runners and anchoring in quickly. By next spring, you will have a full, spreading plant producing far more than you planted. Oregano wants full sun and lean soil. This is one herb where rich, heavily amended soil works against you. Plants grown in nutrient-dense conditions produce less of the volatile oils that give oregano its flavor. Poor soil and full sun give you the most intensely aromatic leaves. Space plants 12 to 18 inches apart and be prepared for oregano to spread. It is vigorous. If you want to keep it in one spot, plant it inside a buried pot ring or a submerged container with the bottom cut out. Without that kind of containment in an open garden bed, it will push into neighboring plants over 2 or 3 seasons. Harvest by snipping stems just above a leaf node to encourage the plant to branch out and fill in. Number 6, lemon balm. This is the herb most gardeners walk right past, and it is a genuine missed opportunity. Lemon balm is perennial in USDA zones 4 through 9. It is a member of the mint family, which tells you 2 things right away. It is vigorous and it is forgiving. Once established, lemon balm returns every single spring without any effort on your part, often pushing up earlier than most other herbs in the garden. Plant lemon balm in partial to full sun with average, well-draining soil. It is more tolerant of shade and drought than most herbs, which makes it a smart choice for spots in your garden that do not get ideal sun all day. Water it through the first few weeks after planting, then leave it to its own devices. It handles dry conditions without struggling. Like its mint relatives, lemon balm can spread enthusiastically if you let it. Planting it inside a container or a buried pot ring keeps it right where you want it. If you grow it in open ground, cut it back hard after it flowers to stop self-seeding and keep the spread manageable. Harvest the young leaves for the best flavor and fragrance. One practical note, lemon balm has been studied for its calming properties and may interact with sedative medications. If you take anything in that category, check with your doctor before using it in large amounts. Number 7, chives. Chives are perennial in USDA zones 3 through 10, which makes them one of the most broadly adaptable herbs on this entire list. They go dormant in winter and return every spring without replanting or any extra work from you. Plant them once this August and they will be coming back to your garden for as long as you want them there. August is a smart time to start chives from seed directly in the ground. Germination happens fast in warm, late summer soil, and a plant established this month will develop enough roots to survive winter and return full and healthy next spring. It is also a good time to divide an existing clump and replant sections to expand your harvest area at no cost. Chives prefer full sun, but handle partial shade reasonably well. They are not demanding about soil, as long as it drains decently. Space plants or divided clumps 6 to 8 inches apart. When you harvest, snip leaves from the outer edge of the clump, rather than cutting the whole plant to the ground at once. One thing to know before you plant, all alliums, including chives, are toxic to dogs and cats. If you have pets that spend time in the garden, keep chives in a spot they cannot easily reach. Number 8, Echinacea. Echinacea, commonly called purple coneflower, is perennial in USDA zones 3 through 9. It is native to North America, drought-tolerant once established, and one of the most naturally low-maintenance plants on this list. After a year or two in the ground, Echinacea self-seeds gently, gradually spreading on its own without any help from you. Planting in August gives Echinacea the time it needs to anchor its taproot before the ground cools. That taproot is what makes it so drought-tolerant in the years ahead. Without a strong fall root establishment, the plant takes longer to settle and longer to produce. Get it in the ground this month, and that root system will be working for you quietly all winter long. Plant Echinacea in full sun with well-drained, lean soil. Like oregano, it performs better in poorer conditions than in rich, heavily amended beds. Space plants 18 to 24 inches apart to give each one room to spread over time. A plant going in this August will anchor roots through fall, survive winter, and bloom the following summer. Leave the seed heads standing through winter rather than cutting them back. Birds will visit those seed heads all through the cold months, and some seeds will drop and germinate naturally in spring, gradually expanding your stand year after year. One important note: do not harvest Echinacea from wild populations. Many native wildflower stands are protected, and wild harvesting causes real damage to local ecosystems. Those are 8 herbs that will reward you for years if you plant them this August, and that will cost you an entire growing season if you wait. The window is open right now. In a few weeks, it starts to close as the soil cools and the days shorten. The gardeners who move this month are the ones who harvest without regret every spring. Before you go, tell me 2 things in the comments. Which of these 8 herbs are you planting this month? And what state or growing zone are you in? I read every single comment, and your answers shape what we cover next, right here at Evergreen Garden. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a new video. We are here every single week with practical gardening guidance for real gardens. See you in the next one.